Rio de Janeiro, or simply Rio, is the second most populous city in Brazil and the sixth most populous in the Americas. Rio de Janeiro is the capital of the state of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil's third most populous state, after São Paulo and Minas Gerais. Part of the city has been designated as a World Heritage Site. Named Rio de Janeiro, Carioca landscapes between the mountain and the sea, by UNESCO on 1 July 2012 as a cultural landscape. Founded in 1565 by the Portuguese, the city was initially the seat of the Captaincy of Rio de Janeiro, a domain of the Portuguese Empire. Later, in 1763, it became the capital of the state of Brazil, a state of the Portuguese Empire. In 1808, when the Portuguese royal court transferred itself from Portugal to Brazil, Rio de Janeiro became the chosen seat of the court of Queen Maria I of Portugal, who subsequently, in 1815, under the leadership of her son, the Prince Regent, and future King João VI of Portugal, raised Brazil to the dignity of a kingdom within the United Kingdom of Portugal, Brazil, and Algarves. Rio stayed the capital of the pluricontinental Lusitanian monarchy until 1822, when the War of Brazilian Independence began. This is one of the few instances in history that the capital of a colonizing country officially shifted to a city in one of its colonies. Rio de Janeiro subsequently served as the capital of the independent monarchy, the Empire of Brazil, until 1889, and then the capital of a republican Brazil until 1960 when the capital was transferred to Brasilia. Rio de Janeiro has the second largest municipal GDP in the country, and 30th largest in the world in 2008. Estimated at about 343 billion Brazilian reals, it is headquarters to Brazilian oil, mining, and telecommunications companies, including two of the country's major corporations, Petrobras and Vale, and Latin America's largest telemedia conglomerate, Grupo Globo, the home of many universities and institutes. It is the second largest center of research and development in Brazil, accounting for 17% of national scientific output according to 2005 data. Despite the high perception of crime, the city actually has a lower incidence of crime than most state capitals in Brazil. Rio de Janeiro is one of the most visited cities in the southern hemisphere and is known for its natural settings, carnival, samba, bossa nova, and balneario beaches such as Barra da Tijuca, Copacabana, Ipanema, and Leblon. In addition to the beaches, some of the most famous landmarks include the giant statue of Christ the Redeemer atop Corcovado Mountain, named one of the new 7 wonders of the world, Sugarloaf Mountain with its cable car, the Sambadromo, a permanent grandstand-lined parade avenue which is used during Carnival, and Maracana Stadium, one of the world's largest football stadiums. Rio de Janeiro was the host of the 2016 Summer Olympics and the 2016 Summer Paralympics, making the city the first South American and Portuguese-speaking city to ever host the events, and the third time the Olympics were held in a Southern Hemisphere city. The Maracana Stadium held the finals of the 1950 and 2014 FIFA World Cups, the 2013 FIFA Confederations Cup, and the 15th Pan American Games. The region of Rio was inhabited by the Tupi, Puri, Botocudo and Maxcali peoples. Europeans first encountered Guanabara Bay on 1 January 1502 by a Portuguese expedition under explorer Gaspar de Lemos, captain of a ship in Pedro Álvares Cabril's fleet, or under Gonçalo Coelho. Allegedly, the Florentine explorer Amerigo Vespucci participated as observer at the invitation of King Manuel I in the same expedition. In 1555, one of the islands of Guanabara Bay, now called Villegagnon Island, was occupied by 500 French colonists under the French admiral Nicolas Durand de Villegagnon. Consequently, Villegagnon built Fort Colony on the island when attempting to establish the France Antarctic colony. Eventually, this French settlement became too much of a threat to the established Portuguese colony, and in 1560 the order was made to get rid of them. A years-long military aggression was then initiated by the new Governor-General of Brazil Mem de Sá, and later continued by his nephew Astácio de Sá. On 20 January 1567, a final defeat was imposed on the French forces and they were decisively expelled from Brazil for good. The city of Rio de Janeiro proper was founded on 1 March 1565 by the Portuguese, led by Estácio de Sá, including Antonio de Maris. It was named São Sebastião do Rio de Janeiro, in honor of Saint Sebastian, the saint who was the namesake and patron of the Portuguese then monarch Sebastião. Rio de Janeiro was the name of Guanabara Bay. Until early in the 18th century, the city was threatened or invaded by several mostly French pirates and buccaneers, such as Jean-François de Clercq and René du Guay-Trouin. In the late 17th century, still during the sugar era, the Bandeirantes discovered gold and diamonds in the neighboring captaincy of Minas Gerais.